As a technician, here's the main thing I look at when selecting a cork grease. I'm right in the middle of doing a tenon recork right now in this clarinet. So for those that don't know, when you're putting a new cork on a clarinet tenon, it's typically done with contact cement. So there's a very thin layer of adhesive already on the tenon itself and on the back side of the cork. Those are going to get put together, and that's when the adhesion will happen. So that's a really, really thin layer of adhesive. So I don't want anything breaking that down. You might say, well, the cork is going to be in the way, right? So how could anything possibly get to it? Well, I'll show you in just a second, as soon as I get this cork on. So here's the sheet of cork that I cut this piece of tenon cork from, and take a look when I hold it up to the light. See those little tiny pinholes there? It's not much. There's not a lot of them. I get this from J.L. Smith. They make some of the nicest cork in the business, but you can see that there are some. So stuff is still going to be able to get through the cork, and that stuff is usually going to be the cork grease, and most cork greases will actually break down the adhesives, making your cork not last as long. So there's a couple things we can do to prevent that and make your corks last longer, and there is one particular cork grease that I like that will not break down the contact cement. So my new cork's on there. It's been sanded down to fit the barrel. And what I'm going to do now to put a protective layer between where the cork grease is going to go and the contact cement is I am just going to coat it with a layer of paraffin wax. So there will be a very thin protective layer keeping the cork grease from going through those little pores in the cork and breaking down the contact cement. And then I like to melt that all in so half of it doesn't rub off as soon as you put the barrel on the first time. And there we go, we've got a protective layer built in. So my favorite cork grease out of all of them is actually going to be the Ultimax. I like that because it's synthetic, so it's the only one that won't break down the adhesives. It's specifically designed to be that way. So, you know, I worked hard on this cork. I don't want the cork grease breaking down the contact cement that's holding this cork in place. I really like that it also comes in a syringe, too, as one of the options for ways to buy it. I get this from musicmedic.com, and I also sell it in my shop. So I just find that really handy. I don't expect clarinetists to go around with a syringe in their case. But, you know, maybe get that or the small tub of it for your practice area at home to just help your cork last longer and reduce your cost of recorks. And then when you're on the go, grab something like that. It's not like one of these other cork greases is immediately going to make your cork fall off or anything like that. But maybe so when you're at home, have something like the syringe ready to go. And then when you're on the move, have the more handy chapstick style.